Angelo DePaola, the Coastal Connection with eXp Realty. I'm over here at J&M Tackle, the Gulf Coast foremost saltwater outfitter, and we're here with Walker. Walker, dude, I cannot wait to talk about this wrap. Walker, one of the things that strikes me as I come into J&M today, in the 30 plus years I've been coming in the store, is that like what y'all carry has changed so much over the years. And it's just the fishery has evolved and developed over that same time frame. And what's always like amazing to me is like J&M has always been on the forefront of the fisheries, right? Like hey, the way we fished for tuna when I was in high school is almost 100% different than the way we fish for tunas today.
Cedar plugs to now chunking live baits and live bait chumming, and it's definitely
lures on conventional reels. I remember jigging with a Shimano wasn't even that big of a thing. It was like a Penn International 50 with a diamond jig on it, and it was so new that the tunas were just eating diamond jigs, and like you didn't have to jig them that long, so it was bearable, right? And now the reels are much smaller. The braid has allowed us to fish much smaller reels with much bigger capacity, heavier line, easier to cut through the water, and so. One of the things that's kind of come out of the fishery the past couple of years is this wrap system.
This stuff right here, if you hook a big tuna up and you're having trouble picking up that rod and pulling up on him, this will definitely save your butt right here for sure.
Well, you know, I'm so used to, and I still love it. Like, I love to get strapped into a harness and go mano a mano with that fish. But like, you can't fight 100+ pound fish or 150 pound fish at, heck, even 15 to 20 pounds of drag. Most people just can't hold on to this for that long. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but you start putting 25 and 30 pounds of drag, good luck going more than 10, 15 minutes. Most people aren't going to be able to do that.
They're definitely going to be, they'll be stuck to the gunnel and then scratching their rod up and stuff. This rod right here, it's made for that.
Well, and this is like a California thing. They were using this sort of rod on long range boats, and it's called a rail rod. Because they would fish on a rail and they would use the leverage. But a modern rod, until they kind of came up with this, you'll notice it's got a bigger big cork system. Tell us about the rod.
So really what this cork's made for is just being able to absorb whatever you set it on. If you set it on one of these wraps we've got right here, or some people use the gunnel as well, you're not going to scratch up the rod, you're not going to tear up your gunnel at all, and pretty much just gives you a lot better cushion to be able to fight a big fish.
It also just, for me, it seems like it's easier to maneuver around the boat. Like if the fish goes around the back of the boat, around the bow of the boat, I'm not trying to walk sideways with a rod and reel strapped to me. You know, I can have these strategically placed wherever at in the boat. And this is what they call a long 30. So if you have a 30-degree rod holder, it's going to you put this in here, you're going to be at 90 when you come up here, and it swivels, right?
We've got multiple different sizes too that'll fit whatever your needs are for each boat, because each boat can be different, you know, and different rod holders and different degrees as well. We have a short, a long, a 15-degree, a 30-degree, and then we've also have a straight as well.
I mean, I love this not just for tuna fishing, but I'm thinking like swordfish fishing.
Like, even for bottom fishing as well, like big grouper fishing. I was thinking this would be great for grouper fishing. Like whenever you get out there and you're hooking those big 50, 60 pound gags, they want to go back in their little rock home, you know. And
when you have sitting there trying to stick it in their fighting belt, and in the meantime they get rocked up and broke off.
You got one of these, all you got to do is just sit on that rod and you got him.
So the other thing that I noticed, it just seems very purpose-built, this rod. Like, I bought one of these a decade ago, and like it was a California rail rod, and the tip was super thick, it was a much longer rod. This thing seems like it tapers down very nicely, and it's a little bit shorter. Like, I just wonder if the people at Shimano were like watching guys in the Gulf of Mexico and thought, this is what we need to build.
They were looking for more towards like a boat rod as well, I would assume. Something you could fish off from a boat and then still be able to cast with it as well.
Well, because you don't have to fish this in this wrap system. You could this the butt section's short enough that if you wanted to harness in.
Yeah, you could definitely harness in. You've got all this room right here to reach up there and have plenty of strength to be able to pull that rod up.
All right, so like I'm like a little nervous to even ask you to do this.
Alrighty.
But what's it feel like?
Let's give her a test drive.
All right, I'm ready. I'm holding my breath. I mean, dude, like I could just sit here and use my chunkiness to my advantage, right?
For sure. There's not really much strain you got to put in.
So this, to me, this setup, like whether you're going to chunk for tuna or you're going to live bait or you're going to troll, you could do this. Now this is Shimano's setup. I originally saw this. I think Joe VT like really was like a Okuma guy, and like Okuma I thought built a really nice caster.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we can go into why that reel is built the way it is.
So this reel, it is built a little bit more specifically made for this rod right here.
Yeah.
And it's made for casting. This reel, it has what
it's got
you
this
want.
little knob right here.
It's got where you can, the spool tension knob right there, which allows you to be able to cast certain lures. Unlike some other open face reels, they don't have a spool tension. It's drag and then your second high gear and low gear. That's all you've got on most reels. But these reels, they've carried that one extra system to where you can actually cast these guys and not have a big bird's nest afterwards, you know?
Well, I've always felt like Okuma was this company that like really was a West Coast sort of reel. Like those guys out there use it because they're throwing heavy irons. That fishery really called for it, and so they really built this rod and this reel for it. They don't even have the reel lugs on here because it's built to do this.
Made
now,
just
what's
for
that
casting?
Look like? Because I think this is like for people on the Gulf Coast. This isn't like as well known of a brand. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Still a fantastic rod for sure.
And like, what size lure is this? Like, are people casting on these?
You could throw a 2 ounce if you wanted to with that, or even maybe a little bit bigger. You can go with higher than a 2 ounce, maybe 4 ounce will work pretty good. But I mean, really, these rods they're made for just running up on the school and pitching at them and burning them in. And once you hook a big fish, you put them right there on that wrap and go to town on him.
What else do we need to know? Like, I feel like I've kind of gone through the little bit that I know about this.
I would say these rods right here are going to be a game changer. Like, if you don't have a lot of stamina and you don't think you can sit there and crank on a fish for 2 hours, that right there will definitely take the fight out of it. Like, I mean, whenever I was bending on the rod right there, you barely even felt that. You're not even using your upper strength. You're mainly using your lower body, just squatting up and down.
You're just using your own weight.
Really.
I'm not even in my cranking hand. The other thing that I was just thinking about, like, if you're going offshore and you're going to go fish tunas up on the shelf that are banging on pogies and stuff, like, you really need to come and get, I'd say at least 2 of these.
Oh, for sure.
If not 4. I mean, like, you got a guy running the boat. You got a couple of your buddies. Like, who's the poor guy that's going to have to, like, be out of the rotation of fishing? Like, we're talking a lot of running to maybe get in fish for an hour or 2. You want people to like really be able to take advantage of them when they're there.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, the other thing that it just kind of popped in my head that I love about this, like if you do have 4 or 5 guys on the boat and they're all armed with this sort of tackle and you got these wraps, like, you know, you've got them strategic, maybe you got 4 or 5 along each gunnel. Like, as the fish are moving, like, people can just move around and play that magical chairs that you end up playing in this sort of fishery.
Oh yeah, and then just think about all the time you could save too. People getting tired and not being able to reel the fish up. You get that fish in maybe 30 minutes faster than another method. You'll be able to get more fish to the boat. If you can land one 30 minutes faster, that'll cut your
I
time
mean,
down.
well, the other key is not just so you can get more reps in, but the sharks are a problem. And your
Absolutely.
ability to crush their soul early on before they crush your soul. And
Yep.
I guarantee you, if I had to do this with a little thing here on the end, my soul gets crushed
Oh,
first.
absolutely.
Man, I'm looking at it and I just love fishing tackle and I love a
yeah.
reason to kind of come and own more of it. And I just love the way it feels like I want to walk out here with a pair of them myself.
Oh yeah, go test them out.
You know, we touched on it a second ago. Like we're talking about it in tuna fishing because that's really kind of where this came from. But the more I think about it, man, I just think bottom fishing, snapper fishing, amberjack fishing. You said grouper fishing. Like you're talking 60-pound groupers. I mean, I'm thinking my 6-year-old fighting a 15-pound red snapper, and I'm sitting there helping him with the rod. And I'm like, a little bit of it hurts my soul because I want him
Oh,
to
yeah.
do it on his own, right? And so, like, I just think, like, this isn't a one-off purpose built. It is purpose built, but it can be used across because it's basically a braid to fluoro setup here. But like, you know, you could bottom fish with
Oh yeah,
this.
absolutely.
And so we have the tall 30, but you have a little one over there too. And
Yeah.
this just so you guys can see, like, if you've got young kids, they can get into it and fight the fish on their own. And I don't know. I just like go
Oh, yeah.
back to that in my head, that thought process of winning on my own, hooking my own fish, and then being able
Oh,
to.
that would be a game changer for children as well. Because imagine, like, you know, your daughter or son's holding the rod, and you're gonna want to grab it right here just to keep them
Always.
from dropping it.
Always.
That right there should take
I
that
mean,
completely out of it.
They can just sit here. I mean, if you think about it, bottom fishing, you're just sitting here, ding, ding, ding. It's a circle hook.
Yep.
All you're doing is cranking tight on the fish, and now you're right into
Yep.
you're right
on
in
'em.
fish fighting mode. Oh, I need to move it over here. I need to move it over there.
You swivel back and forth.
I mean, I love it. I think it brings younger kids into the sport. I think it brings women into the sport. This changes everything for people that are offshore
Oh,
fishing.
absolutely.
Walker, anything else that we need to know about this? Other than y'all have a whole shelf of them over there. I hope there's enough of them here because I got a feeling
yeah.
people are going to come and buy.
Oh yeah. If you're wanting to get a pretty good setup that's going to last you longer than 10 years and still be able to function and catch fish, Shimano or Nakuma are going to be your best bet.
Well, this is a wrap, right?
It's a wrap.
Boom. Dude, good to see you.
Good to see
Angelo
you, buddy.
DePaola, the Coastal Connection with EXP Realty. I'm here at J&M Tackle with my good friend Walker. Walker, his granddad is the famous Bobby Walker. And J&M Tackle is the Gulf Coast foremost saltwater outfitter.